And she's taunting them, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
can you pull up the virtual thing? Because then Alyssa can join and probably Leslie too. I just can't do both.
Virtual.
The meeting.
Yeah.
He went there
where
for
do-
Laura,
I guess.
for
Be
Reagan's
like on
class.
your.
Reagan was super stoked.
These are the only things I have.
You might be scared of us. We eat a lot during the meetings.
That's great.
I'll forward it to you. Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
I don't have it on my calendar. It's not.
All right. We have 2 members of the public today, which is very exciting. What is easier for you guys? Do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Do you want us to introduce ourselves to you guys first? What's most helpful for you? Are you feeling shy? Are you feeling not shy?
I'm Julie Pan, and my husband,
Hobie Hetherington.
and we live on Walker Lane, and a lot of interest in sustainability, solar, geothermal, EVs, etc. So I came to your Earth Day, which was really excellent.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right. And what do you guys do to be sustainable right now?
We lived in Woodbridge many years ago. We moved away, we came back, and in 2005 or 6 thereabouts, we actually put in a solar array. It was one of the early ones, I think, in the area because they were very unfamiliar with the process. So it's been working that entire time, and we're now in the process of revamping that.
Oh,
array. So,
what's that process
and
like?
we just bought it, finally our first EV. So we're just interested in understanding how Woodbridge as a whole is shifting, or hopefully shifting. So
And then the house is on geothermal.
Oh, wow.
So we put that in when we,
yeah, there's a lot of
Great.
things that we did
Nice.
back in 2000.
So you're on Walker?
Yes,
Whereabouts?
15.
so it's all the way at the
At
end
the
of
end?
it.
On the left?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that the Kalversky's house?
I'm sorry. We we used to know Paul the plumber, who used to live right
Yeah.
next door.
Oh, next door, okay.
He's moved, but
Yeah. So you weren't that house, it was next door to his house?
yes,
Okay.
he's I think 23.
That
Where-
circle starts at like 15.
The cul-de-sac.
and then-
Oh, okay,
One-
gotcha.
There's
Yeah,
like
no, I'm
there's
friends with
very
Paul.
very long driveway.
Yeah, Paul and I are in the fire department together.
Oh, is that right? Okay, that's why his
I've been to that house
truck
a
is
lot.
at the fire. I noticed.
That's why he's at the firehouse all the time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fixing our bathroom right now.
Oh, good for you.
He's good. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right, very good. I'm Hillary. I'm one of the co-chairs. And let's see, what do we do here? We do Earth Day. We've been doing a lecture series. And we also are interested in how we can get Woodbridge to change. So, and I will give it to Tom.
Tom Kennefick, actually right around the corner, I'm on Burn Swamp Road.
Really? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, right in the corner
Oh,
there.
that's where the Walker Road is.
So, yeah, we're trying to get more people involved in, more people in town involved with
Yeah.
being sustainable and trying to hopefully lower our costs at the landfill, which I think is part of the whole issue of composting and recycling. So, hoping to get people more invested in it.
The recycle. I mean, well, I'll ask later.
No, go ahead. Ask.
I'm just wondering, recycling. I mean, our garbage and recycling is handled by Bazzuto.
Oh, okay, you.
But
Okay.
is that not the same as what the town does?
Town doesn't have
No.
anybody. You either contract out somebody or you take it there. I take it there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you take it yourself, and the rules are actually oddly somewhat different for both things, which it shouldn't be, but it is.
If you take it there versus use a.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for as long as we've lived in Connecticut, when we bought the house, it was on a pickup. So we never even realized that there was an alternative. But I mean, it's good to know that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you don't
yeah.
have to pay. You
I
can
guess
just
it
take
depends if you have a pickup truck or if you go there often enough, because I see people there in just regular private passenger vehicles,
Yeah.
open up the back and
So I can't.
throwing everything into the dumpsters, but I have a pickup.
How you're on?
So,
I mean, we don't have that much garbage. I was always wondering, we're paying a lot of money for garbage because we really don't generate very much garbage, but, you know, it's just a fixed, a volume that you,
yeah, so I wonder if they dump, if Bizzuto's dumps at Woodbridge. I would think they would if they,
I feel like I've seen the
Oh, I think
Bazooka
they do.
truck go and
yeah.
get weighed.
So they probably do
Yeah.
the Woodbridge route and then go there and they get
Is-
weighed
right.
and then go in.
Right,
is
but
that,
so
And
it's
they
my
usually shut down
understanding
one of
that,
the dumpsters.
yeah.
They'll
So
be dumping,
with
they'll open up the
the
other one.
with the other one, with the outside whatever private companies that do it, they dump. I believe they all dump at the transfer station, but they don't. It's harder to have them follow the specific rules of like taking out the glass and doing the things that is expected for everybody else. So
Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
Bazzuto doesn't do that. I just
Yeah.
throw it on.
so there's other companies other than Bazzuto?
yes,
I use Bazzuto.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of different
Two or
companies
three
that,
that I'm familiar with.
I'm familiar with only Bazzuto.
there are a few.
yeah. What are the other ones?
I know, it's been so long since we left them. But we used to have trash pickup and
Yeah, I'm
it
trying to
didn't make
think
any
what
sense
it's
because we were paying a lot of money and
Right,
so we just decided to start taking it ourselves.
so do they actually do a decent job recycling wise?
Well,
Does
yeah, I
the
guess
town
it all
do it?
depends on
We don't know.
your, you
So
know,
there's
your
been a lot
perspective,
of
but-
right. I mean, there's a lot of complaint. Laura recently, one of our other members, had taken pictures when she went to the transfer station and was really upset because everything was super contaminated in the recycling, and she was like, "They've got to do a better job of this. How do we do this?" And
It's hard though for
It's kind
the,
of-
I mean, I've talked to them. I've developed a rapport with people who work at the transfer station because I'm there weekly, so I get to know them. But I think I was there once and I saw a couple of little propane canisters that you see on a portable grill
all right,
that were in with the paper and plastic. And I mentioned it to him and he said, "Hey, we can't police everybody." I said, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying, it's right there and you got the little grabber thing, that it's right there. And I agree, people, you watch people throw stuff in there
Right.
and they just empty their can and there's all kinds of stuff. And in the conversations I've had with the guys who work up there is that probably not 50% of what gets thrown into the paper and plastic gets actually recycled. Because a lot of it gets pulled out because it's contaminated, because it's the pizza boxes, because they got the
Pizza boxes
oil.
are fine.
Pardon me?
Pizza boxes are fine.
Yeah, they are today, but then they weren't like a year ago. So, I mean, but people don't understand a lot of what's there.
don't even.
So if you bring a pizza box and it's not all stained up, then I'm told throw it in the trash, not in the recycling, because it's all oily. So, but then you also go there and there's stuff that's not plastic, stuff that's not recyclable plastic. So I always go and I just like hold it up. I'm like, where do you want it? Trash. Something I would think would go in recycling is like trash. Something I think would go in metal, he's like, trash. So, you know, I just think that it's easier. I know that the stuff I'm taking there is getting actually put into the right bins. But when you're bringing it to a contractor, they're just dumping it into the dumpster. And they're paying per pound or ton, whatever it happens to
Is Alyssa
be.
on there too?
Mm-hmm.
So even though we have this recycling,
A lot of stuff gets recycled. I mean,
Okay.
the glass seems to always be full. There's another container that's for electronics, TVs, computers, things like that.
Okay.
They've got another container that's paint cans and some type of like pollutant stuff. And then the metal. And then there's, you know, if you're renovating your house, there's like construction debris. They've got a special one for construction debris. So they have them all out there. And you show up on a Saturday, which is their busiest day, and sometimes you have to wait 10, 15 minutes just to back up to one of the dumpsters because it's so crowded. And there's like 3 guys there, and there's 20 cars. So for them to actually be able to monitor it, it's hard for them. But I think people just, a lot of people don't care, they just toss it. They don't want to be bothered with it, and they just toss it. So, trying to make it more, get more education out there is what people should be doing. Of course, when you go to the transfer station, you don't want to listen to people.
Right, people are in a hurry. That's what they
Yeah.
found during the extended recycling stuff. Alyssa found people were like, "Get out of my way! I'm just doing." It's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, nobody wants to go to the dump, I still call it the dump.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to the dump, transfer station. Election time every year.
yeah,
Candidates are all there, running for office, trying to give you flyers, talk to you, and people are just like, I just want to go to the dump. Just want to get rid of my stuff,
Yeah.
go home.
Right.
You know, so it's, you know,
but that's interesting that you guys have never been and you're actually like interested in this kind of stuff. So like, that's an interesting piece of information, really. That like, if you guys haven't been, then that means a lot of other people probably haven't been. I feel like we should make it a mandatory field trip for schools kids or something.
Well, I mean, if
This
we'll
is
have a
what it's
meeting at the transfer station.
Yeah, yeah. No, but like, because it is like you didn't even know that you could go necessarily. And
Right,
that's
I mean,
probably
what-
true for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, if, you know, you're paying like a couple $100, a
Quarterly?
month, I
No,
think.
no, it's not.
Maybe under, like $70 a month.
I can't remember what it is.
It's being auto debited, right? So you stop paying attention to it after a while, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean, they
And
don't do
we
it
know
around.
that we don't generate much
Trash.
trash.
Yeah, you're probably better off just bringing
You're
it
better
there.
off going to the dump yourself.
Go in the back of your car, take it over there, throw like a tarp in the back, so it doesn't mess up the back of your vehicle. My pickup, it doesn't matter, just throw it in the back of the pickup truck. But yeah, right now they only charge over a certain amount. If I loaded up my pickup truck and it was like they may make me weigh it.
Really?
I think at some point residents are going to have to pay based on the size of
Do
it.
you want-
I think if I showed up with all construction debris in the back of my
Yes,
pickup and
construction
loaded
stuff.
up,
Can-
they'd
We've
probably
done
weigh
that
me and charge me. But right now, I've gone with furniture
Yeah, yeah.
and
I got my
a
washer and my
full
dryer
pickup
there.
truck full of stuff. And when I load it, I try to load by, like the recyclables go in last because they're the first thing I'll hit as I go in. So there's like metal, then there's recycling, then there's trash. So that's how I load my truck. So
Pretty organized, yeah.
so by the time I get to trash, it's just trash. I back up to the dumpster and I toss it all into trash. But if I showed up with a lot of construction debris, they'd probably say, yeah, go around and weigh
Right,
yourself.
that you do have to wait for construction stuff.
So right now, it's just for contractors and construction stuff. But you can bring something in that's pretty heavy and just, I've seen huge sectional couches tossed into the trash dumpster. And then just
I thought that
crush it.
wasn't there a thing in the little circular that comes from the town, that there's a $50
Bulk
bulk
pickup.
pickup?
Mhm.
Is that's separate?
That is
from
separate.
this.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you are remodeling
Right.
your living room and you decide to get rid of all your furniture and
And you don't have a pickup truck.
and you don't have your pickup truck like Tom. So you can pay the town, they'll come for
Right.
$50, they'll do one pickup, and they come, I believe, with like the front end loader. Like it's pretty exciting
Okay.
actually to see. And they just put it all into the
Okay.
truck and take it away.
Okay.
But that's like for a one-time.
Does that go to like a Mr. Junk for recycling?
No, I think it goes to the transfer station, right? In the, I think they just
It
take
goes
it.
to the transfer station.
Yeah.
It's our transfer station.
I thought it was a Mr. Junk that would recycle everything.
No, you'd have to pay them a lot more, I think. To
Oh,
go.
okay.
That would be $50.
I see.
So, and I believe that's only recently that is $50. Yes,
Yeah.
that it used to.
It
Yeah, you
used to
used to
be
be able to
free.
just schedule it and they'd come and get it.
Well, they seem to make a big deal like, well, you can only do this once a year as well.
Oh, it's during a certain time period that you can do
Right.
it. Yeah. So, all right, we'll keep going. BJ.
BJ Hearn. I teach at the elementary school. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Is it's a really long day today.
It was field day.
What grade do you teach?
Multi-age. So it's first through fourth.
Tom.
Oh, I'm Ton Huntington, and a new member of the Sustainability Committee.
Not anymore. You're not. You guys are old now.
I know,
Baptism by fire, the both of us.
Yeah.
On Mr. Earth Day. It's nice
Yeah, I
meeting
met you at the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you get a Nissan Leaf?
I did.
Yay!
It's a really nice, I think it's a nice car. I mean, it's a lot more attractive than it was when it first came out. but-
Yes, agreed.
Cool. I'm Stephanie Pennington. I started with Ton. I don't feel that new anymore.
She's seen some things now.
Right? I'm currently working on the green team tip for the Beecher Road School newsletter.
The
Well,
last one.
yeah, if I don't actually do it here, it's not going to get done.
That's okay. We like to multitask.
So, so that's another thing. We have like a subset of like green, we call it the green team, and we I guess do things at Beecher Road School to kind of make things more sustainable and.
For the schools?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, like they have the kids sorting their like compostable
Food
food
waste.
in the cafeteria. So like, and the kids like actually do it. We collected film plastics at the school and collected enough to get a free bench for the school, and we're just gonna, I guess we're keeping on doing it because it's
You
all.
can do it once a year. You can get one bench a year.
So do you want to wait for collecting then till next year, or just collect now?
You know, 'cause you never know what'll happen.
Can like people come into the entryway of the building to put their film plastics in during the summer?
Yeah, there's people there all summer.
And then
Yeah,
kinda-
you still have to buzz in.
Say it's
Put
still
it in.
there.
There you go.
Mhm.
Very good.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And we have two members on
We have two
virtually.
on?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Leslie, would you like to introduce yourself to our members of the public? You're on mute, Leslie.
You're right, I am. No, I'm not. You probably wish I were, but I'm Leslie Lyons, and can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. Okay. And I am a member at large, and I am a Woodbridge resident for a million years. Hope to be in the future, and really want to just proceed into the future sustainably. Get the kids to understand what it's like to be sustainable, and maybe make some really significant marks in the town. I'm a speech pathologist, and I'm still practicing with seniors. But I worked in the West Aiken school system for 39 years as well, 27 of them concurrently with the seniors. And I'm trying as much as I can wherever I go to suggest sustainable, potentially good projects. Actually, I am on the verge of having one come into fruition. Unfortunately, it's in New Haven, not in Woodbridge. But anyway, so I am here. And nice to meet you. Good luck with our commission.
Thanks, Leslie. Alyssa?
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for coming and stopping by our meeting. I am a science teacher in New Haven and former high school environmental science teacher. I have a passion for environmental sustainability. Also a member of the Green Team. This is, I guess, my second year as part of the Sustainability Committee, and yeah, just supporting all of our efforts moving forward to get the town a little bit more on board with sustainability.
Very good. So that's us. We have a few people that are missing tonight too. We have Laura and Diana. Am I missing anybody?
And Lon.
And Lana. So everybody got worn out from different activities today. But nonetheless, we've got a great team that really everybody brings something totally different to the table in terms of experience or interests, and it's great. So absolutely come every time. You're welcome. We meet once a month. But all right, I'm just gonna move along on the agenda so we can hopefully get out of here sometime tonight. So, in terms of last time we had talked about what things we could get ready for Earth Day next year now. So, just to update, I picked up the sandwich board signs from Public Works, and only 6 made it back out of the 10 that went out. It
Really?
is a mystery on where they disappeared to. No one seems to know. This happened last year too. I gave 12, I got 10 back. This time we gave 10, we got 6 back.
Right.
It is what it is. You know, like, I tried to like look around myself. They're nowhere to be found. I don't know where they disappear to. But nonetheless, that brings up that we need more signs. I know BJ, you had been interested before in changing the thing a
Yeah,
little bit.
it doesn't, you don't, there's too much on it.
Okay.
So.
Do you want to play with that on Canva a little bit for that and the lawn signs? Because lawn signs we lost a bunch too that people threw out.
Okay, I have one in my car.
That's good. Yay!
One more, they found one more random one floating around somewhere, I don't remember where.
So yes, as you see, part of the thing, like we try to reuse our own stuff all the time. We get mad when other people get rid of it.
Yeah,
so-
after school ends.
Okay, all right. So just because I want to be able to order new stuff now and not like in
Yeah.
April. So we have excess
The
money
summer
still.
project.
Okay, very good. So I'm gonna put. I think Lana was working on some of that today too, so I'm going to put you both on that one. We need to figure out what we want to do. Do we want to print out bigger, better, beautifuler versions of those maps? You know, like the indoor plan, the outdoor plans, and how can we make them weatherproof and life-proof? I
Well-
mean, we could certainly get those printed like on a banner or something if we
But
really wanted to.
if it's,
6:30.
6:30 test.
Is that?
I would
always-
maybe
Yeah.
do another year, like we can print
Yeah,
them on our
6:30.
printers and laminate them, and you weren't, I saw people using them, but you didn't even think,
Oh no, I thought people used them a lot.
okay, I thought you
Yeah.
had said originally, like, they didn't even use our maps.
No, they used them. No, people actually like complimented the maps and everything.
So,
So
I think we should just print them and laminate them again. I don't
okay, if we
think-
can laminate them, then that's fine.
Yeah, I
that's
don't
fine.
think we should
Okay,
spend the money yet.
You know I love to
Not
spend
because
money.
of the spending the money as much as because it's only been this
Well, that's
big
okay. We can do
one
that later
time.
too. I mean that whatever we do, I just want to do it ahead of time. I just don't want to do it
Yeah, you know
on
I'm all
April
for that.
24th. Like we-
Yep, I'm all for that too.
The date for next year is officially April 25th. Mark your calendars, everyone.
You said April 25th?
Saturday, April 25th, and 10 to 3 was what we decided, I think, last time, not to make it the full till 5. So that is that. Sustainable seat. Any other ideas of? Is there anything else for Earth Day that
Can I
anyone?
pop in, Leslie? Oh, sorry. Hillary, real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to order the water wagon again for next year?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, we do have, by the way, in terms of those kinds of things, Cyril is booked for next year. We can decide in a little bit if we want to keep him or not. If the other thing that is booked too is the e-bus from Energize CT or whatever that's already booked for next year. I think
Really?
we've now booked it like 3 times for for next year. They're like, yeah, we have you on the calendar, but
Third time's a charm.
yeah, you know, if you don't have it if you don't make sure you have it. So.
Not that that's happened to us.
I know. We're like, we'd like all the confirmations we can get, please, since it hasn't worked out in the past. So, are there any other things like that that anybody feels we need to book ahead of time?
Well, yeah, I think we should look at that. I sent you guys that list, that link to list. It's on, I think it's on the CT.gov site of some other sustainable performers and whatnot.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah.
So we should look because
Okay.
there is another magician, I think.
Yeah,
So we should look and see if there's anything
Okay.
of interest on that and book that
yeah.
likewise
Yep.
now.
We
I,
also send out like a save the date to all of our vendors and people who participated this year, just like a blanket, like, hey.
So I'm glad you say that because it was in the thing that went out. So,
Oh, okay.
and hopefully our members of the public can attest to this because it went to the thing that you guys got that said, like, here's what happened from Earth Day last year, and it said, save the date for next year. Did you not notice that, though?
I think I saw that, it
And you
didn't-
responded, so.
Okay, yeah.
So I know you got it. You, I'm not sure. No, you actually wrote back, so. But it was on there, but if you didn't notice that the date was on there, then that's a.
I didn't put it in my calendar just yet.
Aha! Okay. I know, it'd be great to be able to do it as like a calendar invite or something, you know, like things that
Yeah.
like.
I mean, we
I didn't
can.
notice it either.
Yeah.
We can do a calendar invite depending on who the audience. So, you know,
Yeah.
reaching
So
out
that-
to performers. I
That
can
thing
do
that went out, by the way, I mean, you
Yeah.
guys all got it, but it was BCC, so you might not, like, that went to every performer, vendor, person who's signed up on any
Right.
mailing list that we have, anyone basically that has ever given us their email in any fashion got that.
Yeah.
All the town departments and select people and all of that kind of thing. So everybody got that. And also, because I sent one out prior to that, and then I sent out that more recent one once because it was like a few of the, we didn't have like the data on the extended recycling and stuff, so that's when I sent it out again. And before a lot of people have automatically said, like, I can't wait for next year. You know, like that is, so.
Could we like schedule, I mean, I put this in my Google Calendar just so we remember for our fall meetings, like maybe in, October or November when we start to like put it in there just to remind everyone.
That's a really good idea. Can you calendar that for us?
I'm gonna calendar right now.
Thank you, darling.
And we could also use the Woodbridge Earth Day Google account or Gmail account to create an event and put on people's calendars, and at least for performers. I could do that.
Okay. Very good. I'm gonna. And I think the good thing is too, like, each year we get more and more street cred kind of thing of like, this is a real event, people want to come back, it's something worth going to. We all know we had trouble like the first year, people were like, oh, should I commit to being a vendor or whatever, like, is it
some of the
worth it?
stuff was actually really excellent.
Yeah.
The vendors.
Yes, and hopefully, and we actually had a bunch that didn't show because of the rain. We're actually, unfortunately, because we didn't have really a very good like check-in process going on, just because we couldn't, there was no physical way to do that. So we don't really know. There are some, like, I'm still trying to find out. I don't think Planet Fitness ended up coming. Did anyone see Planet Fitness?
No, I didn't.
And I feel like I would have seen them. They're very bright.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were gonna come.
Bright and purple, yes.
But I don't think they did. And I asked everyone that was in that hallway, and people were like, "Oh, I didn't see them." Ask the other end of the hallway, and I was like, "No, I don't think they can." So like, there are a bunch that would have been there and would have been fun too. You know, like a lot of local things. So I'm hoping the more each year we get more, of a reputation that this is worth going to, worth doing. And I did, by the way, even send that email out to people who didn't show or who backed out at the last minute just to show them that, guess what, the show went on and it was great still. So, no, you should have come.
You did have a way to count people, right?
Not well. That
so-
was another not well, but
We have a proxy of counting people. So the library actually does count people. They count how many people go in the door, apparently all the time. So they have a clicker, and they count how many people enter the front door of the library. So on Earth Day, they counted 1,100 people going in the front door of the library. Now, we had the side doors open for the library too. So to me, I think the 1,100, the library has bathrooms. So you're gonna get people who are going in and again. That aren't, it's not 1,100 individuals. Some of those are repeats. But I also think that we had a lot of people going in the side doors too that wouldn't have been counted in that. And also we had I would presume there's a whole bunch of people who skipped the library altogether. So we're calling it at 1,500. So, but their 1,100 is at least a legit number, and not just us being like, I think it was about, like, that's our base to go from. So.
and again, we'll do better next year.
Yeah.
Each year
It's hard for an outdoor event where people can come from any direction, and like cannot go to parts of it and can go to other, there could have been people who just stayed in the firehouse the whole time and never saw the rest of it.
Actually, there were.
Yeah. So, you never know with that. Or people who just stayed in the library. Like, apparently the library book sale did better than they've ever done before, and I was like,
Yes.
really? Get right out of town. Like,
first time.
I had no idea. And I would not have guessed that, because I didn't think that many people were coming and going into the library, but clearly I was wrong. So, and there was lots of people outside at all times too. So. All right, sustainable, anything else for Earth Day before I move on?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Or actually maybe more of a proposal to the rest of the committee.
Okay.
I wanted to speak to Allison about setting up some sort of online system to capture all the documentation and the payments associated with the vendors, food vendors specifically. It was just a lot more complex than I, in my opinion, believe to be necessary. So if that's okay with everyone.
So one of the things that I talked to Mika and Allison about when we debriefed with them. Well, there's a few things. One, I asked again for all that paperwork to be simplified.
Yep.
And for the alcohol ordinances to be, again, like moved to agendas
Yeah.
to see if we can get those changed. And then the $75 hawker and peddler ordinance, again, to have that changed. And also to see if it would be okay, because I'm not sure if like I'm making more problems or if I'm solving problems, but if we can actually have a contract for the food vendors, because other places do that. It's a real contract.
Right.
And so
Right.
I asked, can they talk to the lawyer, the town lawyer, and say, like, is that something we want, or is that something we specifically don't want? Like, they exist online. It's not even like we have to write our own from scratch.
Yeah.
Like, so we can totally steal and, make it ours and whatever. So they said they would look into that, but they
Okay.
didn't think that that was going to be a problem. Again, like, so they're all for that as well, to
Okay,
simplify.
that's good. I mean, it's when I look at other towns and
Yes.
look at how they capture all the information, there's usually a portal on the town's website that allows whoever's in charge, it could be multiple people in charge, to check that documentation and then just click a button and say, you're done or you're not done.
Right.
And that will be it.
And that there's no question of
Yes.
what's been sent and
Yes.
what hasn't been sent.
Exactly, yeah. It's a lot of miscommunication that happened up until the 11th hour.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So yes, that is a wonderful idea, and I will send a reminder email on that
Okay.
because it was a while ago, and it's a good idea to send a reminder.
Is it useful to have a place where if you're trying to put in some like solar stuff, to go through what the permitting process is? Because apparently there's a process that goes through the utility and then that goes through the town. And it'd be good to get some sort of sense as to what criteria or what guidance there is on how to do that permitting. Or, I mean, don't get too ambitious as the homeowner, right? So what's reasonable? Is there anything like that available?
I mean, it was sort of part of the lecture series, not specifically on that topic,
Right.
but if you brought it up during one of the lecture series,
Uh-huh.
one of the experts would have answered that question. I forget which one.
But I also would say, so I also have installed solar in the last 5 years, and we got a heat pump, and I don't know, other things. And so I would just say a lot of these things, like the things are changing constantly too, and in
Right.
terms of the rebates and in terms of
Right.
all those kinds of things. So it's a very hard thing for anybody to keep updated, like on the town website of here is the process. Like, so, and I think it was even different for both of those, for both when I got solar and for a heat pump, in terms of, for some of them, the vendor did it, and then for other vendors, they were like, no, you take care of everything. Same thing with the rebates or even the permits or whatever. So
Right.
it's like, I'm not
It's
sure,
highly variable.
there isn't like this is the
Right.
process for everyone and this is gonna
Right,
be.
well, I think maybe at one of the lecture series, do you have someone from UI or available to?
I would say the hard part, I found at least with solar, UI doesn't want you to get solar, really.
Correct.
Like, they
That's
were
my-
the barrier.
Yeah,
They were
they're the
Hello? It's only me. Funny you should all mention that, because that has been my project all week, I was going to suggest that we include a series in the lecture series on specifically solar from, and I call it the sky up instead of the ground up, but anyway, that it would be for the benefit of everybody to learn about solar on the science aspect as well, and then get into the real nitty gritty. So brilliantly, I thought, well, gee, we just okayed these people from Green Skies to start a solar farm. Wouldn't it behoove everyone to get the information from them? It just sounded like a really good idea. It has been a nightmare it still is. And Hillary, I asked you for a contact too. And it's okay that you didn't know, because apparently nobody knows. Still working on it. I've sent several emails to Town Hall. Was told I'd get a contact. Called 5 different extensions at Green Skies. No one called back. Emailed them. Got the poor guy in dispatch, and he gave me a name and suggested I write this long thing. The end of the story is that I have no contacts. However, I would propose that we consider that as as a topic at least to approach. And I'm glad you guys brought it up because it does make sense to me. A lot of people in town are saying, well, what is it? I mean, we know about it, we see it, whatever, but, we want the science of it as well. So I will be happy to, believe it or not, pursue that and see if I can get something going so that we could have that as one of our projects, if everyone is okay with that.
That'd be great. Thank you. I guess just as we're trying to deal with it, I get the sense that, one lousy little homeowner makes no impression on UI. But if you have a town asking UI about this, you might get more responsivity. I have no idea. But
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying I've gotten the sense that it's actually quite difficult with UI.
Yeah, no, I mean, my experience with UI was we have Tesla panels with a battery, okay, and so I don't need UI. I can actually go off grid at any time too. And so when you get the panels and you don't have a battery, you have to wait afterwards for them to come inspect it before you can turn it on. However, if you have a battery, you're free to go and you can actually have them turned on as soon as you have them. So Tesla turned it on as soon as they installed them, we were good to go. UI came out before the inspection was scheduled and turned off my power completely because they were like having a tantrum, and I had to follow the guy to, I shouldn't even be saying this on camera, but anyway, follow the guy to his car and like take pictures of his like little number or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm going to follow through with this, and he was like, okay, fine, I'll turn it back on. Like, it was like a ridiculous process. That it was like, what?
How long ago was this?
I don't know how long I've had solar now. Probably, I mean,
Couple of years?
yeah. Within the last 5 years.
Okay.
So, and so then they can, like, with no warning, like, I work from home too, so it was like, all of a sudden my power, I was like, what is going on here? So, and they claimed, oh no, you can't have it turned on, and I was like, yes we can, like, because of whatever, and they were like, oh, fine. And then they came and did the inspection, but like, it's not in their interest, I'm not paying them anymore, or I'm paying them the minimal fee.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I looked at my bill, I was like, oh my goodness, it's not that they have such a multiplier on what little you use.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those all went up.
It's
now
not
too, yeah.
not just because you go and use go to Constellation, get
Right.
a cheaper rate. It has no bearing on
No,
that.
but it's
Everything's
the
there's
whatever
all this other
fee.
stuff tacked
Yeah.
on top of it. But nonetheless, I just think it would be good to have some clarity, and I do think that having more interested people on this might convince them to be a little bit more forthcoming. I have no idea.
From what I understand too, like UI has to approve you getting solar panels too. Like if too many people on your street have solar panels, they can say no to you. That's too many.
Well, see, if I were an electrician, I could do this all by myself, right? And I wouldn't, if it was on a battery, like you're saying, they would never know. Except if they take a picture from satellite, they can see the panels of the house. It just strikes me as very counterproductive.
Unnecessarily complicated. Yeah, no, it is. It does. When I was in the process, it was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. How can this go on like this? And with us, the way that, because like Tesla like redesigned their panels in the middle of this process, so then we had to start all over again because they were like, oh no, the arrangement changed and now we have to get the permits again. I was like, you have got to be kidding me, So then it started all over again, and it took like, from the time that I signed up to get panels, from the time that they were installed, it was like 3 years. It was like a preposterous kind of thing. But it eventually happened, and now I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't even remember about it. It's, once you're on the other side of it, it's like, oh, who cares? It's fine.
Right.
But it is unnecessarily complicated. You are absolutely right. One more thing before we hit the lecture series, Sustainable CT, we did a partial submission for April, and so we have a certain number of points, and that we will finish the submission in August. It's around like August 20th is the due date for the submission for, I think we're definitely going to hit bronze, hopefully we'll hit silver in terms of Sustainable CT certification for the town. So we submit all the things we do, like Earth Day, like the lecture series, like the POCD, we had to actually wait. That was a part of the big holdup, was the POCD had to be out fully, because that's a huge part of it. So it was very difficult for us to submit before that was out. So so Allison's doing huge amounts for that. We've done a little bit of it as well, like our parts, but she's doing the big bulk of it. And now we have a new sustainable CT intern too that I think is going to be working with us to help push it over the edge. So that's that update. Lecture series. So did anyone have any ideas for new lectures that they want to coordinate? Anything?
I've been in contact
Yes,
with
you did one, Poet
our inaugural Poet Laureate of the town. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. We have a Poet Laureate now in Woodbridge. And I found out through the Library Commission that her focus is in nature. So it's perfect. You
And
know,
not just that, but having a Poet Laureate is actually part of Sustainable CT.
yes, it is.
Like
It is part
having
of Sustainable CT.
having like arts, having these things in your town is actually like part of a sustainable community. So
Mhm. And she just needs to finish out the school year. She's also an educator. But she's trying to get in touch with Adam. His name is in my email. Actually, Alyssa, you might know Adam.
Adam Parsons?
What was that again?
Adam Parsons?
Yes, Adam Parsons. Yes.
you win.
You know
Who's Adam
everyone.
Parsons?
Yes. And she just hasn't heard back from him. Is he in charge of the trails?
He's
He's-
Parks.
Oh, okay. So yes, she's just waiting to hear back from him, but she wants to coordinate with us and Adam and potentially the library to do some sort of poetry trail along Fitzgerald track,
Nice.
which is
Yeah, it's
something.
like the story thing, but poetry.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so
poetry,
Hillary, you
which
could
we
speak
thought
to
of doing,
what
which is
Bethany
great.
is
Oh,
already
yeah.
launched it. It's the first
Yeah.
poetry trail in Connecticut, so it's okay. We're the second to launch it, but she's mentioned.
So we will copy good stuff. That's
Yes, she's mentioned a lot of interest, and so we will schedule a time for all of us to speak and just do some
Do they need
brainstorming.
money, or do they think? Because maybe that's something that either Green Team wants
Adam?
to give, like to do a. So by the way, for everyone else who doesn't know what we're talking about, a poetry trail. It's like it's similar to like a story walk. There's like stakes and like some sort of weather suitable. I don't know,
Frame.
solid,
There's
a frame
They're
or
just
something.
standing frames.
Something you can see, and like they have like QR codes on it so that you can follow the poem, or maybe if it's a short enough piece of work, actually parts of it there. And so the idea is that you walk, and once you walk far enough, you like get the whole thing. So they started this in Bethany. I think Land Trust was
The Land
Land
Trust,
Trust of
yes.
Bethany did one, and it looked really cool.
I haven't done it yet.
No.
Has
Yeah,
anyone
no.
done it? No,
I just
I
love
want to
pictures.
go out and do. Maybe that'll be
It'll
our
be like
first
our field
meeting
trip.
with Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I'm hoping to get Michael involved as well. So I will reach out to him and
Okay.
see, because he's part of the Land Trust, correct? Bethany's Land Trust. Michael.
I don't know that he is. I think he just knows them. I think he might still be in Greece even.
Oh wow. Okay.
Went
Well.
for a while. But you could try. You could
But
still
anyways, it's nothing in writing right now in terms of adding
But
it
I
to
like
the
it.
lecture series. But yes, it can be part of the lecture
try. Right. I
series.
mean, and even if that's not right, we could still have she could still do a poetry reading and talk about that as a thing to
Yes.
do anyway. So,
Mhm.
do you have a feeling on time-wise when that would be better or worse? Or
It's going to be weather conducive. So she's thinking this summer. I'm thinking closer to the fall, right before school starts. It would be
Okay.
more appropriate. The kids are back and getting.
yes, I mean for
gearing
us,
up.
we don't do anything.
Right,
They
right.
start in September.
Right. So maybe one of the first or second
Okay.
in the lecture series.
But yes, if that comes to fruition and if they need money to make the stands or
Okay.
anything like that, perhaps that's something that we're interested, either a sustainability committee of donating some of our money to,
Okay.
or a green team donating some of the money to, or both,
Yeah,
or
it could be
whatever. I mean,
multiple
like
sponsors.
we have
Yeah.
some money,
Okay.
and it would be like, you know,
Well, Green Team's on hold until.
I know, but there's still money there.
Well, I did talk to Lisa, but we are waiting for the new super about, the front of the school, although I gotta look, cause there's this bird vetch, is that what it's called? It's beautiful purple viney thing that grows, but I'm
Mhm.
concerned that it might actually be an invasive one because it's it's wrapping around everything. It's very pretty. So we'll see, maybe it's not. But regardless, the Milkweed is stunning in front of the school. Would love to get it declared as a Monarch Way Station. That's an easy process, inexpensive.
I
It's
thought
in a
Mag
Google
already
Plat-
was in the back.
Mag is one,
Okay.
but this is the front of the school. And
Those monarchs need places to rest on the left.
beyond that, though, I'd like a bigger
Yeah.
sign with information.
More obvious in the front, yeah.
Well, but with info
Mhm.
about milkweed and about monarchs and about the migration. And it would be lovely at the front of a
Yeah, yeah,
elementary school, and those cost. And so I thought, oh, green tea money can go to that.
yeah.
And the principal's on board with it, but we're waiting for a new superintendent because it wouldn't happen that quickly anyway. So that might take
Okay.
a chunk of it
Very
there. But it also needs to look into who's maintaining that. Is it being maintained?
Right.
How is it being maintained? We got them to stop cutting the milkweed,
For now.
but
Yeah.
yeah, for now. And what about? But they're not doing much else.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
more info.
All right. A good thought. A good thought. All right. Any other lecture topics? Stephanie, any ideas? Any feelings? Are you happy with the lecture topics that we've had?
I am.
Were there any ones that you particularly loved and wanted to see back? Any tired of?
Or that just
We had
something we should
Diana.
do.
Yeah, just here. I could pull up the thing too, but it's like we had Diana do the general. Well, actually, it was us, wasn't it? It was Diana slash us
It was.
doing the general like overview of the home energy audits, which I think, in one sense, is a strong one to always have
Yeah.
because there's always people who don't know about it.
So much has changed.
Be nice if
Right.
we get the tiny house. again.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I love that little tiny house.
Yeah.
That's so cute. So
I would take the RWA off. That got no one. I don't know.
That was a sad-
In October, and it
Yeah.
wasn't well publicized by me, but I think maybe not.
okay.
Definitely the recycling.
Recycle CT, keep her.
Keep it, or-
What about our one on the upcycling?
I loved your upcycling.
I think
vote
upcycling,
yes.
and we'll make it better and more fun and advertise it, but it needs to be earlier.
Like it
Okay,
was
so what
But
month do
then-
you want?
November.
Well,
we decided,
November,
I think,
okay.
right?
I thought we said that last time,
I just
November,
wanted to confirm it's
so
not going on there
that
now.
people can actually, we did upcycling gifts, so they can actually upcycle or recycle or whatever gifts. It's a little late, right?
Yeah, December was too late. We also Laura had talked about doing like a gardening.
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
Which I don't think we happened this year. Or maybe we can even like have Laura do it, or invite the gardening club to do some sort of.
So she was saying too something about having the community garden people, and Tom had mentioned too about master gardeners. So I mean, like, there's so much content there. We could have like part 1 and part 2 even if it was that thrilling. So
If we can get people to actually do it.
I'm on the website, the library website right now, and they have a homemade garden amendments.
yeah, Katie Poole is doing.
Okay,
From the
so like
summer.
they have something like that, but I think a gardening one would be really
Yeah.
good. Or even gardening beyond the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like how to prolong your garden.
Sure.
But it might be nice to have the lecture series at the community gardens.
Yeah.
And I understand in community gardens, they're pretty big plots. But just to speak to, you could do this in your backyard, your front yard.
Mhm.
You could do this at home. You don't have to be here.
Right.
And have either the garden club or people who have plots there, because I could probably think of 2 or 3 people who would be willing to talk about how they develop this space.
Yeah, that would
So,
be
I mean,
interesting.
I
don't
built
know
one
very
out
much
of,
about the community
um,
gardens.
Right. I even just want it to be like, here's how you get a plot.
Yeah, that
I
would
think
be great.
like-
People are so
that would
curious
be
about
great
it.
because I don't know how to get a
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are so
Yeah.
curious
I mean,
about
I
it.
built a small box garden in my yard with
I saw,
Yeah.
like,
with
overgrown
landscape
flowers, like, I could-
timbers,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not that
Well, then
big.
would it be good to have
Right,
like
but then-
composting in February and then
Yeah.
gardening in March? Would that be a good like?
Yeah, because you can compost into the gardening.
Right, like it gets you ready. We're getting like.
But then have
really
people
excited.
there that, I mean, it's nice to be in the library and people can talk about it, but if you're right there in your community garden and say, this is what I did, this is how I got started. Because there's some plots there that have multiple raised
Yeah,
garden beds that you could duplicate in your own yard. and
I would say
explain to
so-
them how they did it here, where you could do it there, you could do it at your house.
Is it
Which
ran by the town
means
or a co-op, or do you know?
Getting
It's
people,
the town.
the town, but you
It's a couple
just
people. It's a
sign up, it's
Oh,
not.
okay.
So going towards my next comment, we need to ask certain people.
to be there. Yeah. So Laura wanted to spearhead this one. So and she said, could she ask other people?
Okay, because it needs to be people who have done it the way that is helpful to lots of people and can explain it. Because we've had before passionate people, because they're new and they're excited and they're learning, and they don't actually know enough, so when they're explaining, they can't answer many
Yeah.
questions, because anybody going is that interested too, and they already know all that.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying, is it does need to be very experienced and
We'd also have to get
well-spoken
it-
people, because it is a lecture series. It isn't a community chit chat, which is great, and
We'd
everybody
also
can
have to
come.
get permission from the community garden administration.
Right.
Because
We can
it's-
ask them. We know.
I mean, there are people that run the community gardens, so you have to sign up, you have to pay for your plot,
Right,
they manage it, so just to talk with them and say, hey, this is what we wanna do.
Yeah.
And, I think
No,
I
so
still
that's what
know
Laura
the-
wanted to do.
I think I still know the two that are kind of in charge of it. But if you go up there and you walk up there, it says private property, do not.
Right.
Of course, nobody pays attention to that, you walk the trail anyway, but they don't want you going into the actual gardens.
well, no, you can't, except for the ones that are open, because there's a
Right,
beautiful
'cause there-
meditation, if you haven't been
There's
to
that
the
beautiful
meditation
flower
club.
garden on
Yeah,
there.
it's
There's the one-
Beautiful,
Oh, the rose
The
garden.
rose
Yeah.
garden on the other side,
which
yeah.
is for
Yeah.
anybody to go in.
Yeah,
Yeah. the
which I walked through
garden.
just the other day. And then there's one right off the road, which is a flower garden, which has paths through it and there's no fence. So you encourage you to
Well, I like
walk.
too that some of them are flowers, some of them are food ones. It's like
Yeah.
very different. It's whatever people
Right.
wanted to do.
So I think that
lovely.
would be, people can actually see it.
Yeah.
And they could envision it in their yard on a smaller scale.
Okay. Yeah, I think again a lot of it is like making it accessible, whether it's garden plots or having a plot there, or like the idea that they could do it at home. So I like all that.
Yeah.
Are we good with keeping compost? Is everybody happy with compost lecture? I love Domingo, so.
Yeah.
Would it be good to, with some of the money, and I don't know how much the composting
Oh, the tumblers.
tumblers cost, but to advertise, we're gonna give 2 of them away to people who come.
Oh,
Put your name
Well,
in a
this is the
hat.
problem with those,
yeah,
that's not what Domingo recommends.
yeah.
That's not what?
What he recommends, so if you actually go to that lecture series and learn all about this composting, you get to win something that he doesn't
So
suggest you
we
even
did
use.
when the town was when we were selling the
So that
other
doesn't go
kind,
really
which
well.
is not the tumblers, but it was the kind like that. We did that, and we did give them away, and like people. We had people donate them back again to us, let's say.
They're not the
Um,
preferred.
Right. So I would say, I mean, and that's why this last year, when Scrog asked, did we want to do it again? It was like,
No,
not
thanks.
really. Like, they cost a lot, and like, I mean, sure, whatever gets you to compost, if it's because you bought something and now you're going to do it, then great, then do it.
Yeah.
But I think also, like, sometimes people having skin in the game makes them do it. Just because they got it from something,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to make them do it.
Right.
So, and those are really expensive too. And I don't want to also hear that, like, this was a bad one, or this was, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
They're
if you
rough.
listen to his
Yeah.
whole talk, it's
Yeah.
basically, he's gonna say that's not the one to use. And it's cheaper his way, it works better his way, so you're opposing,
Yeah.
we would be opposing what we're shooting for.
All right. Any other, Tom? Any ideas from you? BJ? Any other ideas? Oh,
Hillary,
yes, dear.
Do you want me to in fact still pursue the solar energy? We could also
I-
do it on the premise of alternative energies. We could look into that as well.
So yes, I would love a solar energy one. My only concern is having a single company that can profit from the lecture. So
The only thing is they're not, they're just leasing the land essentially. It's their own dig, literally. And I was talking to Warren yesterday about it too. And the town really isn't that involved with what the operations are going to be. My only personal concern was the fact reported on it, they gave a little presentation, but not enough so that people weren't saying afterwards, well, exactly what, I mean, how does it work? You know, it's the science of it. They may in fact say no, if I ever get in touch with them, but they may in fact say no, which brings me to the next question. Does anyone have any source, either school-wise or in any form or fashion, with someone who might be able to inform us or talk about it?
I've never been able to find one before
Take
that's.
responsibility for the rest of it, but.
I mean, I've worked,
Go with that, you know.
I think that the question is, there are many solar companies
Right.
trying to, you know, get you to put $20,000 or that.
Yeah, but they're not selling us that. I mean, they're just leasing the land, basically.
Right, so they ought, this company should be willing to do that, but if you're trying to get at, you know, some broad-based scientific understanding of what does the PV photovoltaic panels do and how do they work, etc., I think, are you looking for an academician? Are you looking for
Not necessarily, just somebody that can
Sure.
explain the
I mean, if we
process.
can find someone, yeah. I mean, alternative energy in general. I personally don't know anyone that fits the bill. And I was hoping maybe because most of you are educators that maybe someone would know or
Like, I mean, like, what I'd love is the equivalent of the heat pump guys. Like, those guys aren't there to sell heat pumps.
Right,
They're just
right.
telling us
I agree,
everything
I
about heat
agree.
pumps. But Energize CT doesn't have anything like that for solar. So,
No, I know. You know,
which, by the way, do you
idea
want heat pump
struck
guys again?
when I went to, you know,
Or
when
heat
we
pump
went
out.
to the town meeting, I thought to myself,
Heat
well,
pumps?
a lot of people just
I like
don't
them,
know
they're
what
nice.
it is. And I just think it's sort of good PR also for them to talk to us about it.
I mean,
I mean, they're you know, they're gonna be there anyway, so.
So I would say keep trying, but don't, if you feel like there's no hope, then just let us know. Because again, like, I've tried and I couldn't find anything before, so.
Yeah, it's kind of a mystery, but apparently there might be a missing key at town hall, so I'm still waiting
Okay.
for that. All right.
Alright, so that puts us microplastics, poet laureate, energy audits, recycle CT, upcycling, gardening, composting, solar/alternative energy, and heat pumps. So that actually, I think, hits, that should be, yeah, that's actually more than we can even fit in the time. So, I am going to look at our calendar from last year and assign these, so like certain ones like heat pumps should be, if upcycling is going to be November, then heat pumps should be October, you know, like when it's starting to get cold. If compost is in February, gardening can be in March. We can fill in energy audits. So if we do poet laureate first, oh no, then we don't have time for an energy audit then. We can do, when can we put an energy audit? Microplastic is good anytime. Maybe energy audits we do in December.
It makes sense for the calendar year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can work January can be recycle CT. And then March. Microplastics can be April, or we can fiddle around, you know, like we can, but anyway, what I'm gonna do is look at our calendar from last year, because those we tried to work around all the 3-day weekends that existed in the world. So I'll try to match those up, and then I'll give Donna from the library that count. Well, I'll send it to everybody first and make sure it works. So if one of these was your idea, make sure that date works for you and plan to promote it and whatever, and we'll just honestly plug it into the flyer from last year. If you want to make individual flyers for your individual thing, go for it. If you don't, then don't.
Are we still aiming for 3 p.m. on Saturdays?
That's the question,
Yeah.
too. So I know that, like, Tom, Saturdays have been hard for you, Saturdays were hard for Lana. So if your particular one, you know, if like Poet Laureate ladies, like, I am no good on the weekends because
Okay.
I have commitments, just like how, like, Recycle CT lady had said, like, I don't do the weekends, we
Yeah.
have to do. So
Okay.
we'll just, you know, aim for whatever, like, if you have a particular for Wednesdays, then fine, then Wednesday it is. But I think in theory, some of these, like the gardening thing, if we need to go outside and, you know, be in the garden, that might be easier on a Saturday versus in the evening. And
Do you
like,
have wine in the library?
yes, you can.
Well, I'm thinking for Alyssa and I, if it's more of a, like, getting the holiday spirit and
Sure.
thinking of other people, and I do want it to be like we did, the kids love doing the earrings, but like have a little, make it, take it too. And getting people more sharing ideas, you know, bring your show and tell, we can kind of make it more of kind of like a paint party type of effect where it's, you know, some little snacks, and even if, whether we supply it or it's kind of potluckish, so it's a little more of a social event, but at the same time, sharing a lot of great ideas. That's more up my alley.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. She's still on there?
Yeah, Alyssa? Sounds good?
Liz, what do you think?
I think she likes it.
I think she left.
Making dinner.
Oh,
Oh, she just
she's
left.
missing. All right, so then think about, I'll just put it onto the thing from last year of where things, you know, like the Saturday. But so right back if you're like, no, I want it to be Wednesday of that week or a completely different time that month.
Yeah, well,
Just-
November's tough because of Thanksgiving,
It
so gotta
is.
think and figure out
Yeah.
where.
I just want to have the dates reserved and be able to give out that flyer and have it stay the same because last year we moved a bunch of stuff because of the 3-day weekends and stuff, and then it got people confused. So that is that, and I think that's everything that I had. Anybody else have anything they want to throw in? Are we meeting next month?
I can't come in July.
I can't.
So the first Wednesday of July happens to be July 2nd, which I will not be available.
Yeah. It's my birthday.
Happy
I'm not
birthday.
celebrating sustainability, although I love everyone here.
All right, do we want to just skip July completely then?
Yep,
Yeah,
And-
because I'm away the following week.
I'm easy to answer these questions.
All right, then let's plan, August 6th would be the August,
August 6th.
yeah, that's the first Wednesday in August. Does that work? I mean, I think that, I would not want to wait till September because I feel like things then get rolling
Time
very
for the lecture
quickly.
series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6 o'clock, same.
usual.
We should do another meal.
I know, I was thinking that tonight, I was like,
That was
man,
definitely.
place,
why am I
same
not
stuff.
like bringing like a bunch of food
I would do the
tonight?
same thing we did last time.
That was a nice big spread.
Like, I'm not gonna eat for like a week beforehand, so I
Hillary, do we have to make a motion to vote on?
not having a meeting? Possibly yes.
Yes.
All right. So
I make a motion to cancel the July 2nd meeting.
okay.
I second it.
Second.
Okay. Everyone else, yes?
Yes.
Yes. And I think we have a quorum, so it's unanimous.
All right. Okay, but I'm gonna say before that. So please just check your emails. I want to send this out. I'm hoping to do this like in the next couple days with the calendar thing because I want to get that to Donna as soon as possible with the dates. So I want to have that finalized really by July 2nd when we're not meeting. So
The lecture dates.
yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm double.
I mean, not that we have to like have the people booked necessarily, but you know, like
I don't have to book me?
yes, you have to be booked. But in
You
one
probably
sense,
do
it's like we
actually.
do have to make sure like Domingo's available on the day, or like if we're getting Cheryl Baldwin again, which would be fabulous.
So did we say Alyssa, she was gone?
Yes,
She
she
just-
texted and said yes.
Oh, good.
Said she dropped her phone.
Okay, so we have to book ourselves.
Okay. Okay. By July 2nd. I'm giving that as the date that I'm gonna have that done by, and then is that it? Anything else? Just that.
Oh, sorry, really quickly. Anyone's participating in tomorrow's 06
What I was gonna
525 event.
Yes. So.
That's your birthday. But don't
Happy
do it.
birthday.
Thanks.
No,
I have taekwondo and baseball.
Of course
just how you
do.
were hoping to celebrate. It's everyone's favorite. Yeah, so 06525 day is tomorrow, 3:30 to 6:30. There's pizza and ice cream that
Is
are.
sustainability doing anything?
All my favorite things.
I will be at a table selling 06525 bottles.
Okay, I'll say hello.
Because it's a good day to sell them, I figure.
It is.
I can't get there till 5.
Okay.
That pesky work, you know, it's pesky.
Yeah, I'm in Simsbury tomorrow, so it'll be later.
Also, yeah. So I just, the bottles are actually on Allison's desk right now because she's going to sell them before I get there. And then I would also, we are using our tents.
Oh, that's good.
Allison was like, does anyone have tents? And I was like, are you joking?
I know, I was like, does she not know?
Well, the funny thing is, here's how this happened.
How many, I'm like, how many tents do they need?
I know. So she texted
But I
me ahead of
figured
time
you'd
and
take
said,
care
do
of
you
it.
have blankets? And I was like, no, I don't have blankets. But she didn't say, do I have tents? And then later, and I was like, but put it on by nothing and then it'll get more people aware or whatever. And then she puts tents and I was like,
We have
well,
to.
what's the irony of that? She asked me the other thing, but not the thing that I actually have a lot of. So anyway, but I also wanted to let it simmer so that other people would get involved, which they did not. And nonetheless, but I told her today that I was like, they're in the basement of the library. Just have Mark and Brad go get them. And she was like, that is the best news I've ever heard. So it at least made her very happy.
Now they have to sign the contract at the library.
Well, that hasn't been
sure
done. That's
do.
what I told her. I was like, I haven't actually done that yet. So like,
Oh, you haven't? I can
No.
expedite on.
So there
oh, no,
will
I
be
can't.
pop-up
It's
tents,
tomorrow.
since you don't
What?
know the rest of
Oh.
I
it.
bet they're using
No,
it.
no, no.
We got them for
but
the
we do have to
rain
do that.
for Earth
If you
Day.
wanna, like,
I can mention it.
And
we mentioned it on
so
Monday.
with
okay,
the
so we just need to
Earth
know
Day
what is the
funds
process.
we raised,
Okay, yeah.
so
Oh.
they'll now
Pretty
be
straightforward.
Because
in
I'm
the
sure that we have to be somewhere with the library.
library of things,
Not in a dungeon.
so
in the
you
library
can
that
borrow
they should
them.
go.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
joking, we're like, well,
And,
she has to
right
sign
now,
the
like,
contract
it's
if,
stacked
you know, you
in
break
the-
anything in the library of things, you have to
and then, like,
replace it.
Like, I was,
So.
it's like, just please put them back so
There are
they don't
tents,
get
and here's your
Like,
pop-up
we
tent.
stack them there like Lincoln logs down there. It's ridiculous.
Because like the 10
Oh,
by
wow.
10s.
So yes, we just need to know what that process.
Okay.
10 by, what size did we get?
10 by 10. So yeah, there's like 12 of them or something that we're going to be giving to the
I just explained it.
library of things.
Letting them
So
borrow.
that everyone.
Yes.
Well,
Through via
yes. I
library.
mean, but no, they will belong to the library of things really at that point, I guess. I mean,
You should put
Yeah.
stickers on them or something that says sustainability.
so we kept 2, but they will not be using it.
Oh, okay.
But and that we always have, that's the other part of the deal, is that like we always have first dibs on them for
Okay.
like the month of April or any other events that we are having. But yes, but with them, they actually have a whole contract concept that like if you break it, you have to buy a new one.
You break it, you buy it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is way better than like us just having them and being like, hey, somebody want to use them, and then it's like, oh, no, we're out a bunch of tents.
Yeah.
So, so
Right, and
anyways,
it's
that's
silly,
that.
they actually aren't good if they sit, they get all musty and
Right.
dry rot and everything else, so it's good for them to get opened and used anyway.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
So,
Okay.
all right, motion to adjourn, 7:16.
I second.
I agree with whatever that vote was.
Unanimous. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty.